I got broads in Atlanta. Just to lean the family. Credit cards and the scammers.
So bring in Dean Cain now. Dean, you've been taking this all in, and I'm sure you know, on another note, there's some Hollywood celebrities. Lena Dunham is one.
Yeah,
Who
Amy
else?
Schumer, Alyssa Milano.
They're going to protest outside, so I don't know if that'll...
Alicia Keys.
Yeah, I don't know if that'll affect the decision at all.
I'm thinking it's not going to affect the decision. Why didn't they call me?
Why? I have no idea.
Call me? I don't get it. Yeah, you know, it's the same sort of thing that happened in the elections. Nobody.
There's Alyssa Milano.
Oh yes.
We used the
well
John
circled
Madden highlight.
Yeah, I couldn't watch the hearings without seeing her there the entire time. But I mean, it wasn't effective last time, and I understand they want to protest. But what are they really protesting? You know, it's anti-Trump. That's really all it comes down to. And
why do you think that?
Well, because most of Hollywood is anti-Trump, and even all of this that's going on for the whole hearing isn't anti-Kavanaugh. It's anti-Trump. They're doing it because they don't want the president to have his nominee in there. If he had nominated Merrick Garland, it would be going through the same thing almost. They really wanted to destroy whoever it was that came in, and it's Kavanaugh. You know, obviously, I think it's a delay tactic. The whole thing is a delay tactic. It's awful. It stops good people. I mean, you think about it. Who wants to go in there and go through that process and have everything in your life overturned, and then have a spurless accusation come up from 30 years ago that you can't refute, and have that blow up your whole life?
He's your age.
What are you saying? I'm old?
Well, no, I'm saying you got to defend.
You could be on the Supreme Court.
Your high school days?
I can't defend my high school yearbook. I don't think. I have no idea what's in that.
What about your son? You have a son. What do you tell him? Is this open dialogue?
Well, I talk to him about the things that you could do, the mistakes you could make as a young man that may haunt you forever now. But it's different now because of all of the stuff in social media and all those things. You can go back now and check his Twitter. You know, you can't check Judge Kavanaugh's Twitter from when he was in high school because it didn't exist. You know, it's that sort of a thing. But there's all that stuff out there now, so you have to be real careful. I tell him that all the time, and it's a terrifying time for anybody that you think anything you've done could be some sort of an accusation that you can't refute, and it sticks in the court of public opinion.
A week ago, before they got the supplemental investigation ball rolling, every Democrat had already come out and said, I'm going to vote against him based on policy or whatever.
Wasn't based on policy, usually.
Well, ultimately, that's a lot like Hollywood, right? I mean, they'd already made up their mind. Regarding him based on policy.
Based on just the fact that he's Trump. That's it. It's anti-Trump. This FBI report that's going to come out that they're going to go in there and read one by one will change no one's mind. I'll quote Joe Biden. The FBI does not reach conclusions, and they're not going to reach conclusions. They're going to ask for more investigations. They're not going to get it. He filed cloture last night. They're going to have a vote on him, and he'll get confirmed or not. And then a lot of this hopefully will just be forgotten. But it's really a circus. This whole process has become a circus.
Who does this energize? Because we were talking to a pollster earlier who said the so-called Brett bounce is real in red states. It's impacting, it's energizing Republican voters.
Well, yeah, you feel like
the Democrats.
Well, the idea was that it's going to be a blue wave, but possibly not. I think the Democrats' behavior has been so bad during this whole confirmation hearing that perhaps it will energize Republicans.
Two things. They said that they were going to look at what happened over those hours of testimony, and they're going to say he came out partisan because this is something Hillary Clinton was behind, and he came out very angry because of his sarcastic retorts to these Democrats who have been targeting him behind his back or in front of the camera.
That's the new pivot.
Did he make a mistake with those two things?
No matter what he did, he was going to get vilified. It didn't matter. If he stayed really stoic, he was going to be, oh, he's got no emotion, he's a robot, he's this. It's doomed if you do or doomed if you don't. So he was in trouble either way, and they just chose, for him to have that big, vociferous defense. They said, okay, he's too emotional, and he doesn't have the right temperament, even though he's been on the court for 12 years already.
Yeah. Well, Gorsuch didn't experience this because he's not the swing vote, and many people are worried about Roe versus Wade and how Kavanaugh's going to vote on that and he's going to overturn it. And that brings us to your movie. Your movie is about
Gosnell.
Yeah. Tell us about your movie. I think we have a clip. Let's watch that and then let's talk about it.
Oh, excellent.
They're looking for anything that looks like drugs or paraphernalia.
Philadelphia Police Department, we have a search warrant. What does that smell? I mean, you gotta see this. This is normal? I don't know. I've never been in an abortion clinic before.
And that is in the city of Philly. It made headlines a couple of years ago. I heard one of the ads for this. That man is accused of being one of the biggest serial killers in American history.
Well, you know, I just asked when we were showing the clip, did you remember hearing this? And Ainsley said, I don't really.
What year was it?
It was 2013 that he went to trial. But the reason you don't remember it is because nobody covered it.
Right.
And that was one of the most amazing things. It's because it's abortion, and it's a bad word. People don't want to get in there and talk about it.
It's a tough subject to cover.
It's a really tough subject. It's obviously it has a lot of bearing on what's going on now, possibly with the Supreme Court. But the idea behind it, this guy was doing late-term abortions after 24 weeks, just horrible stuff, and killing live babies. We don't show all that in the film, so the film isn't gruesome or anything like that. We really hope people get out. There he is, and he's in jail for 3 counts of murder and 1 for involuntary manslaughter. The guy was a monster of sorts, but he doesn't come off like a monster. He would be the nicest guy. He'd be like, Brian, it's so nice to see you, Ainsley. Pleasure. He might touch your knee and try to
You watch video of him?
Oh yeah, we've seen plenty of video.
Late term, that's 6 months.
No, he was having them born. I mean, at 24 weeks, 26 weeks, you have a 96% chance or 90% chance of that fetus surviving. And he was actually inducing labor and then killing the live children. It's awful.
And that's why the ad I mentioned referred to him as the largest serial killer or mass murderer in history. But, you know, abortion is legal in the country, but he was not operating legally.
No, he was doing it after 24 weeks in the state of Pennsylvania, and that's 6 months. And he was inducing the labor. Instead of doing the painstaking work that they normally do for that procedure, he would induce labor.
Right. These were moms that just decided after 6 months they didn't want a baby. There's so many women that can't have children and would take them in a heartbeat.
That's the tough thing. It's thought that maybe he did 3 or 4 of those a day.
Wow.
So it didn't get covered. People didn't want to pay attention to it. I hope people go out and watch the movie. It's controversial. Powerful. We've had a hard time getting it out there, so I appreciate you guys having me on.
No problem. It hits theaters nationwide October 12th. Visit gosnellmovie.com for more information. Dean, great job.
Thanks.
Nice to see you.
Oh, check out your New York City Comic Con. I'm here for that this weekend. Check it out.
Fantastic. Thank you, Superman.
It'll be fun. Yeah, I'll be very Superman.
Will you be wearing the outfit?
I will not.
Okay. People pay extra.
They really would.
Well, then I'll think about it. Hold on.